Are you looking at Manipur and thanking your stars that it is not happening in your state? Think again. We love references from early 2000s and we cannot help but remind you of this line from a crime show. Chain se sona hai to jaag jao. And before someone takes offense to us using Hindi, it simply means if you want to sleep peacefully, you must wake up. What is happening with N Biren Singh can be the fate of nearly every Chief Minister of the Northeast unless we start addressing a crucial point that we seldom touch in the Northeast. Here's the ugly truth. What is happening in Manipur can very well become the story of your state. We are looking at you, Arunachal, Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Tripura and even Sikkim. Yes, Sikkim, which few ever think about when thinking or talking about conflict in the Northeast. Sounds like we are trying to scare you? Okay, at least watch this video till the end and then maybe take a call. My name is Kalyan Deb and in this week's episode of Decoded, we will explain why all of Northeast must understand what is at the heart of the crisis in Manipur. Money? Land? Drugs? No. At the heart of the issue is the question, who is a Manipuri? Pursuing for months.
To a village of Assam.
In the 75th Independence Day.
If I say I'm a Bihari, it simply means I'm from Bihar, right? Of course, nothing in the Northeast is that simple, straightforward or easy. In Manipur, you have the Meiteis, the Nagas, the Kukis and the rest. Who are the rest? Everyone else, to be honest. From Biharis to Bengalis to Assamese to Nepalis. But are they as Manipuri as, say, Meiteis? Probably not. In the hills, do they enjoy the same rights as, say, Kukis or Nagas? Probably not. Ask a Naga or a Kuki and they will rarely call themselves Manipuri. They will always point out that they are Naga Manipuris, not just Manipuris. Do Meiteis believe that the state belongs only to them? Of course not. But do they believe that in their own state they are discriminated against? Absolutely. That said, if I say Manipuri cuisine, culture, tradition or even the Manipuri dance, it specifies Meitei cuisine, culture, tradition and dance. Believe me, I once made the mistake of calling a Naga Manipuri a Manipuri and the earful I got was, well, a good one. How do you expect laws, governments and administration to treat everyone equally when the residents themselves agree that they are not all the same and that some should have more rights than others, that some will forever remain outsiders? And oh, you think this is a problem only in Manipur? Allow me to insert this caricaturish laugh. Who is Assamese? Who is Mizo? Who is a Naga? Okay, wait, we know who is a Naga. But is every Naga a resident of Nagaland? Of course not. Did you not hear when we said about Naga Manipuris? And what about Nagas living in Assam or Arunachal? Are they Assamese and Arunachali? And by that logic, are the hundreds of thousands of non-Nagas living everywhere between Dimapur to Mon Nagalandians too? Is Nagalandian even a thing? I don't know. And Meghalaya? Where do we even start? Meghalayan is a digital media platform. Meghalese is not really a term. What is the resident of Meghalaya called, you ask? They are called Khasis, Garos, Jaintias and again everyone else. Remember when a rally in Shillong against unemployment turned ugly and daily wage labourers were attacked? Were they Meghalaya residents? Maybe, maybe not. Either way, does it matter? They were not one of us and probably never will. Go to any video about Punjabi colony and what do you see in the comments? Oh, these outsiders. So what if they have been living for hundreds of years in that place? Outsiders are outsiders, right? And Assam? Oh, where do we even begin? When a state-employed photographer stomped on a senior citizen who was probably already dead, there was overwhelming support for him. The photographer, I mean. Of course, not the old guy. He was a Bengali Muslim, ergo Bangladeshi, ergo infiltrator, ergo enemy that must be eliminated, right? Are Karbi, Boro, Missing and Kachari Assamese too? I'm guessing they are. But is a Bengali Muslim Assamese too? I'm not here to argue for or against any community. I have better things to do, but let us not kid ourselves. As a resident of Assam, I can say without a shadow of a doubt, when we say Assamese, some people are never counted among them. And if they have an election voting card or Aadhaar card, we simply put that on corruption and conspiracy and move on. And Nagaland, the only land among the Northeast, heard of Frontier Nagaland? No? Here is the 30-second explanation. All Nagas are equal in the laws of Nagaland, but some Nagas have seen much more benefits than other Nagas. So while Kohima and Dimapur are the pulse of the state, regions like Mon, Tizet, Noklak, etc. are more of an afterthought. The only time they make it to the news is when they demand a separate state, that is Frontier Nagaland, along with the other tribes of Eastern Nagaland, or when 13 of their miners are shot in the dark by security forces on a cold December night because, well, miners. And again, what about the non-Nagas living in Nagaland? They will never be equal to the Nagas. Simple. Why? Because the laws are clear. From ILP to Article 371, there is little to no doubt about who the indigenous is. And when it is clear who the indigenous is, it is also pretty clear who the outsider is. And of course, an outsider is an outsider and will remain so. Mizoram, ask the Brus who tried to return home. Or Tripura, where tribals were reduced to a minority so much so that today when we think of Tripura, we think of Bengalis first and the indigenous population later. Or Sikkim, where violence hit the streets over a Supreme Court verdict puncturing the narrative that it was the most peaceful state in India. Ever thought mobs would take to the streets and assault each other? It happened this year in Sikkim. And why are Chakma Hajongs living for decades in Arunachal called that and not Arunachali residents? They did not even migrate or infiltrate. They were settled there by the Indian government, no less. But are they Arunachalis? Every state in our region has a crisis, an identity crisis. On one hand, we are taking pride, and rightly so, in what is ours. On the other hand, there are several thousands, if not millions of people who have made this region home too. Call them outsiders, call them foreigners, call them anything you want, but they are here and they are part of this nation. A Kuki should never be discriminated against in Manipur for who they are, just as a Meitei should not be stopped from buying property in their own state. A Khasi, Jaintia and Garo can be Assamese too, or Naga. Gosh, even calling a Garo a Naga seems confusing. But you get my point, right? By the way, by Naga I mean a resident of Nagaland. Every state in the Northeast wants some kind of law against outsiders. States that do not have ILP want that. States that have ILP want NRC, and the government of the only state that participated and completed the NRC exercise wants to redo it all over again because results were not political enough to be milked the way they wanted to. We are the most backward region in the nation, and unless we start first treating our neighbors, our fellow state residents as equals, no one else will accord us that behavior.
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to EastMojo. For any queries, put them down in the comments section below and press on the bell icon for notifications.